So now that we've talked about the proper nail prep, we're going to go ahead and talk about applying a Jamberry nail wrap to a square nail bed. Not everybody's nails are shaped the same. And one of the most important things that I want to point out to you is that these can be trimmed to shape for your nail. Something super handy that you can do if your nail is kind of like shaped like a little bit more like that, is take some Scotch tape and just apply the Scotch tape to your nail, and then take a pen and draw around your cuticle area. That's going to give you the actual shape of your nail and the size that you need, and then go ahead and stick that tape to the back of the Jamberry wrap, like so that it fits, and then cut it out while it's still on the backing, and then you can go ahead and have that perfectly shaped out for your nail. Something that I do, because my thumbnails, all my other nails are rounded, but my thumbnails actually have, as you can see, this kind of square bottom. So what I do is I go ahead and I get my cuticle pusher and I lift up what I need to lift up as far as length on the wrap that fits my nail. And that is going to be about a little less than half of the wrap. Each wrap is 1.5 inches in length, so you can get a lot of usage out of these, especially if your nails aren't super long. But you can see that I've gone ahead and cut that, and it's pretty close to the size that I need. You want to make sure that you never ever touch the Jamberries with your fingers, because if you do, you're going to transfer your natural oils to the Jamberries, and that's going to kind of destroy or break down the adhesive. So make sure that you do that. Next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to trim the bottom. So I'm going to show you what I'm doing here. Keep my fingers out of the way. And just so easily, just gonna make it a little bit more flat. And that's what's so awesome about these. They're super versatile. So as you can see, I've created more of a square shape, which is gonna fit nicer on my nail bed. Now there's different methods of application. There's the cold method, there's the heater. So I'm going to be going over the heater method with you. I've decided that I want to just trim off just a little bit more. So get the little pieces off because they stick to each other. Get this cut just a little bit more. And that's the other thing that's nice about these rounded scissors, is that when I'm going to do a straight cut, it's not completely like straight, you know? It still has a little bit of a natural curve to it. So as you can see, I've got that. Now, I'm going to be doing with the Jamberry mini heater. This is what I have. September 1st, they're coming out with a new mini heater, and it's absolutely adorable. Super cute. It's going to be the same price, so I definitely recommend picking it up. You want to make sure that it gets nice and hot. Now my nail has been properly prepped. If you have ridges, then I definitely suggest picking up our ridge filler, because it's really good, and it does fill in those ridges so you don't have to file or buff your nail down. Also, if you have like softer nails, go for the strengthening base coat. So that's going to be really helpful for you as well. Also, some ladies like to use a dehydrator, which I don't. I tried it before, and it actually didn't extend the life of my Jamberries. So I wasn't happy with it. It kind of made my nails produce more oil in the long run. So but everybody's different, so if you feel like you want to try it, go ahead and give it a shot. You can pick it up at like Sally's. Let's go ahead and heat up the Jamberry now and apply it. So we have different heating times for different wraps because of thicknesses, and your solids don't take very long, maybe 3 to 5 seconds. Most of them are pretty close to 3 to 5 seconds. You only need to go like slightly longer when you're doing thicker ones like the sparkles. Okay, so now you can see my Jamberry's nice and heated. So I'm gonna go ahead and lower it down. I want to make sure that I'm putting it on straight. So lay it down right there, and then get your rubber cuticle pusher. Make sure that it's nice and straight where you want it, and you want it far enough down your nail that it's against the cuticle, but you don't want to be overlapping the skin around at all. So just go ahead and you want to give it a nice rub downward. It's kind of cooling off here while I'm talking because it's so long-winded. Alright, so I'm going to press straight down the center, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull tight here, these edges, see, on both sides. And what that's doing is it's ensuring that my tip of my nail isn't going to have any buckling. And then I'm going to take my rubber cuticle pusher and I'm just going to apply pressure going all the way around the nail to make sure that I have a good solid seal, and I'm going to make sure that I do not have any Jamberry. As you can see, it's not at all on my skin. We recommend that you go ahead and leave a little bit of nail. If you can't find the wrap that's going to fit you, err on the side of small than on the side of larger, because if it is sitting on your skin, it's not going to last. That's going to be an area where it's going to lift, and basically it will definitely lift and ruin your jamacure. So as you can see, I'm just applying like a nice consistent pressure across my entire nail bed and all the way around, and then across the top. And then I'm going to go ahead and heat it one more time. This is how I do it anyway. And then pressing again. And what I'm doing is making sure that I have really good contact across my entire nail and all the way around, so that I have a really good watertight seal. And what pulling on the wrap does is it allows it to actually have a nice tautness, you know, so that it's not gonna buckle or crease or pucker or whatever you want to call it. And you want it to be kind of pulled down like that. I don't know if you can see that. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let this cool for a second, and while I'm letting this cool, I just want to talk to you about how we're gonna file it. If you tend to use your nails as tools a lot, it's really important that you do an extra little tip here. First of all, it's recommended that we do our filing just straight down, not up and down, not side to side, okay? Just straight down, and what that's going to do is it's going to remove this excess nail wrap. Another way to get rid of it is if you want to use your scissors. You can definitely use the scissors, and another reason why they're good to have the curve on them, because you can trim that way. And another way, which is a super easy way, is to clip. And I definitely recommend using the nail trimmers, because if you have short nails, that's the way that you want to do it. Otherwise you're going to be sitting there trying to file down your Jamberry, and it's going to be just filing your skin and not comfortable and not going to be very efficient. So basically what I want to do now that the Jamberry has cooled, normally when you're waiting for this to cool, you start working on the next fingers and so on. But since I'm just talking to you about the square nail beds, that's why I'm kind of filling in some space with how to file. I'm going to go ahead and show you, because my nail is long enough, how to file straight down. Since I pulled it and I kind of stretched it and made it taut, you want to give it time to cool for two reasons. Because it's going to want to kind of shrink back. And the other reason is that you don't want to, kind of like when you lay down a new linoleum floor, if you were to put glue underneath and then you go to step on it when it's not dry yet, it's going to move and shift. Well, it's kind of the same concept. Now I'm going to show you what this has done, just the little bit of filing downward that I did. Let's see if we can get a good shot. See the hole it's got in there? So it's just going to make it nice and flush with my nail. Sometimes you'll get corners or edges that are really picky in particular, and those are the ones that I definitely recommend busting out your scissors for, or your nail trimmers, because you can kind of lift and trim instead of sitting there and trying to file away the corner of your nail. I'm not one to want rounded nails anyways, so I do opt to do that over anything else. And another thing you can do with your scissors is kind of just lift. I don't know if you can see, but I'm going to lift up this edge here because I've got a little bit of nail wrap that's hanging out where my nail isn't. And I'm just using the scissors kind of flipped so that they're not curved with my nail but curved away from my nail. And I'm just giving it a quick little trim. And what that's doing is making sure I don't have any overhang. So now there's one more trick. If you use your, like I was talking about, using your fingers as tools, you want to go ahead and at a slight angle, slightly. You just want to go ahead and file down ever so lightly. And what you're doing here is you're making a sliver of nail. No one's going to be able to see this little sliver of nail that's going to be showing, but it will keep your nails from lifting, because now you've got a complete watertight solid seal all the way around. And as you can see, it's not affecting the appearance. It still looks like a really nice application, and it's got like the tiniest little sliver right across the top. Now the last thing that you need to do is you need to get your heater back out, and you need to go ahead and heat it up, and you need to do a final seal. So go ahead and heat it up and then press with your thumb along the top of the nail and back around the edges and make sure that your seal is really good. And that is how you do a square nail.